Hello, everybody. It's Stephen and Walter here again for another episode of So Chatty. It is October the 24th, 2025, and it's a special day, special weekend, because it's Idiot Quilter Fall Retreat 2025. And tonight is the big icebreaker cocktail party. And then tomorrow is the retreat. And those of you that have signed up for it, well, you've already got all the information you need for that with the Zoom links. And those of you that didn't sign up, sucks to be you. Okay, so moving right along to what have we been working on? Well, I finally finished my my hairdresser's table runner, table set, whatever you want to call it. So there's the table runner. It is all quilted now and bound and everything. Colors have shifted a little, given lighting and camera stuff, because it is more sage and a more aubergine. They're looking a little lighter here in this than they really are. And then I made her matching placemats as well, in the hoop embroidery.
Yeah, I know that almost looks like it's gray, but it's actually
staged.
a type of green. So,
but it's just the way I keep saying I'm going to check the settings on that new update they put on the iPhone. I don't know if there's something not quite right, or it's just the way it comes out. But anyways, trust me, in real life, they look like the proper colors that they should be. And so I made the 4 placemats as well on the embroidery machine. And I made the napkins to go with it, with the same quilting design that's in the placemats on the diagonal corners. Of course, they're folded up right now, so you can't see that. And the little black box there with the little white things, those are 3D printed napkin rings. And I didn't have any filament that was in a sage or in an aubergine color, so I just went with black and white, because I figured, well, you know, you can always use napkin rings on other napkins she probably owns too. And it had this cute little matching box that went with it. So that's the whole set, and I have her tote bag done as well. In fact, I have all the tote bags done. Yes, all 12 of those felt bags from Dollarama that I've been working on since early September, end of August. I don't know what it was when I started them. And I'm glad they're done, because they look good, but I don't want to make any more. I'm sick of them. So those are all done. And on Tuesday next week, I will be showing you up close and in personals a little bit more about these, the table runner and that. I'll show you the back and the quilting on it. I took some pictures that are close-ups, but that's for Tuesday. And so, Walter, what have you been working on?
not much.
Well,
But I have been doing some stuff to clean up my room, but I haven't gotten very far.
Well, you've been wrapping your fabric around boards.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that's something. Floor's still covered, but
Yeah, I know. Well, that'll take a while.
I don't think it'll ever change.
Well, who knows?
You'll just oh, look, I have more floor space. I can store more things
Yeah,
on the
I know.
floor. Yeah. Most people don't think of storing things on their floor.
I'm sure they do.
Well,
I'm sure lots of people do. I'm sure that not everybody has as pristine well, look at your stuff. You've got stuff on the floor too.
I don't have stuff on the floor. Those are cords. They run to my iron.
I'm sure not everybody has a pristine sewing room.
Mine's not pristine, but it's practically perfect.
Yeah, right.
In every way. Yeah. But anyway, so announcements then. So Sewing with Stephen as usual on Wednesday. And of course, the fall
Is it
retreat.
sewing with Stephen or sewing with the idiot?
Sewing with Stephen. Why, are you coming for a change?
No.
Then there'll be the
no.
idiot too. Yeah. All right.
I'm not an idiot.
Yeah, you're just an a-hole. Yeah. Whatever. He's in that kind of mood today, isn't he, people? All right. So, as I said, fall retreat, already mentioned it, and I've been telling you about it forever. So, just some statistics. We have 86 people signed up for the retreat, which is pretty good. The cocktail party is tonight at 7 p.m. start time, And as I already mentioned, those of you that have already signed up and everything are registered, you have the link for that. And unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know, it depends on how you look at it, the cocktail party is only for those people who are registered for the retreat. So, yeah, if you didn't sign up for the retreat, you get no cocktail party tonight. Of course, some of you don't care because you'll probably be glued to your TV set watching the World Series thing, whatever it is. You know, where they hit that little white ball and
Well,
run
your
18 bases.
cocktail party starts at 7, right?
Yeah.
Well, the World Series doesn't start till 8. So
Well, we'll be overlapping.
8:03 or something like that.
Well, either way, the cocktail party is more fun. And I'm sticking to that story. And then, of course, the retreat tomorrow, and the virtual doors open at 7:30 a.m. You do not have to be here, those of you that registered at 7:30 a.m. But I know some of you like to get an early start. Those of you on the West Coast, that might be a little too early for you because you'd be 3 hours behind us. So that would be like 4:30 in the morning. But your spot is reserved. So whenever you get here, you get here. And your spot is there for you. And just if one tip, when you first sign in, it might take me a few seconds or so, like 30 seconds or whatever, to allow you in. You'll go into the waiting room only because I am cross-checking you with the master list because I don't want any undesirables entering in, the people who didn't register, okay? Or worse, people who like to come in and cause havoc. That's why there's the waiting room. But yes, we are taking attendance. So that's important to know. But you will get in, just be patient. I mean, I'm not going to leave you hanging out there for half an hour. It'll be at the most a minute, probably. But there's a lot of paperwork I have to do for all of this to keep everything running smoothly and organized. And please, sign in using your real first and last name, okay, for those of you that registered, and use the name you registered under. And I need first and I need last because I have multiple Catherines and Kathys and multiple other names too, Sues and Susans and things like that. So I need both names. Now, when you first join up, you may get a screen. Some people tell me they never see this. I don't know if they do or they don't. I see it every time I log in to Zoom, but it'll come up and it will have a part where it's going to use your name. Now, your name there is based upon how you have registered with Zoom originally with that. Well, I don't know. Do you have to register with Zoom to use a Zoom?
I don't think so.
I don't, maybe not. So maybe you don't see that. Maybe it's only for those people that actually have an account.
I have Zoom on mine, but I'm pretty sure that all you really need is a link to get in.
Well, maybe that's why. Maybe I see that because I have an account. You don't have an account, do you?
I don't know if I do or not.
Well, do you pay anything?
No.
Then you don't. Well, but then there's the free account. So to have the free account,
I mean, technically, I don't log into Zoom when I like I don't have to put in a password or anything to get into Zoom. I don't do that. I just click on the link and it brings it up.
Okay, so that must be how it works then, because I'm seeing it from the host's
I think
point of view.
it's set up to be as user friendly as possible, and I think most people probably just click on the link and that's it.
That's it. Okay, well in that case, then what I'm telling you about that beforehand doesn't really apply. But it's easy enough to change it. I mean, you may come in, like, let's say you're using your iPad. It may come up as, on my end, as iPad guest. Then I have to ask you who you are, which is fine. And then I can change the iPad guest to your name, or you can do it yourself too. When you first get in on the Zoom, there's usually, now, I'm not sure how it works on the iPad, although I have an iPad with it. I think on the iPad, all you have to do is just click on your picture and you'll get a sidebar. And in that sidebar, there'll be one that says rename. And you click on that and then you just put in what you want to be called, which is your real name, first and last, for this.
Yeah, I think a lot of people that get an iPad or whatever, they don't bother putting that in. Because I think mine says Walter's iPad.
Oh, yeah. Well.
And I think a lot of people don't do that because They don't want when they sign into a stranger's, Zoom or something, or some other thing, that it'll pick up on their name.
Yeah, I guess. Well, whatever. Well, this is not anonymous, mine, and you know who
No.
I am, so you know that you're protected. But anyways, if you can't figure it out, I can do it for you as the host, which is fine. I just have to know who you are. And so what happens is, if you show up in the waiting room as iPad guest, I have no way of knowing who you are until I actually physically admit you into the Zoom itself. And that's when I'll be asking you. Now, there'll be a lot of conversation going on, and it's sometimes very difficult for me to interrupt the conversation. But as I will explain tonight on the at the cocktail party as well, I will interrupt. And it'll seem kind of rude, but I'm gonna have to say, can we hold this conversation for just a second? I have somebody I need to get booked in here, because I don't want to screw up on any of this. I don't want to mark you as not being there when you were there, because if you're not there, then the blacklist is in effect. So yeah, and you don't want to be on the blacklist. And I don't want to make a mistake and put you on the blacklist. So that's why I have to do it that way. Okay. Anything else I need to tell you? No, just make sure you have an operating camera for the Zoom and a mic. Now, why do I have you come on with your video? Security. I want to make sure you're the person who you say you are. It's highly unlikely that anybody could get into this if they don't have the Zoom link, and I did not publish the Zoom link. I only sent it to the people who were registered, so it's not on my YouTube channel. It's nowhere else. So if somebody actually gets their hands on that and is not registered and comes in, that means somebody leaked the information to somebody.
Yeah, and the other thing is that there are people that troll the internet, that get a random access somewhere, and they try to get into somebody's account and cause problems.
Yeah, but that's why there's a waiting room, because that's the first level of security, the screening. The second level of security is being able to see you on your camera. So you might want to test your equipment tonight just to make sure your camera is working on your computer and you know how to turn it on your device, whatever device you're using. Most devices, it's going to be automatically on, but there are some occasions when it might not be. So yeah, and same, test your microphone as well, which is built into your device probably, unless you have an external microphone, or you're using like iPods or that kind of a thing. Most of the stuff will be automatic. You won't have to worry about it, but I'm just saying it will save you a lot of grief if you know that, to the best of your ability, your equipment is working fine. We will troubleshoot for you if there's a problem, but troubleshooting when I'm expecting 86 people on here at once, there might be a delay in getting to you and sorting out your problem. Walter and I will both be working on it, but there's only 2 of us and 86 of you, so yeah, just bear with us. Usually there's no major problems at all, but I'm just, I always like to have plan B. Okay, I think that's all I need to say to you about that. Tonight's cocktail party, you don't have to come to the cocktail party if you're registered. It's there as an option for you. It's just a way of, especially if this is your first time coming to one of my retreats, you may not know too many people on there. That can be somewhat daunting, if you're the kind of person that's a little shy about being amongst other people. I mean, nothing to worry about. Everybody on these retreats are extremely friendly, extremely supportive. But it's just a way, that's why I call it an icebreaker. We'll be introducing you and where you're from. And if you want to bring something to show us, some project you've been working on, then that is fine. We'll take a minute or two to look at your lovely creation. And I might have a surprise little question for you, but don't worry, it won't be anything embarrassing or anything like that. Just so people get a feel for the atmosphere that we're creating for this retreat. And you might want to bring along a libation of some sort, whether alcoholic or non-alcoholic, your choose. Your choose. Oh, I haven't even anything to drink yet. Although I often find that alcohol is a wonderful relaxer in social situations, within reason. And, you know, if you want a nibbly or something, we will be having a poo-poo platter. Why do you make that face?
I don't like poo-poo.
No, because you're full of it. But anyways, yes, we'll be having, as I said, an hors d'oeuvre tray ourselves, and probably either wine or beer. I haven't decided what I want tonight with that. And we're going to play some games, and we're going to see some fun videos as well. And I'm going to answer any questions you may have about the retreat. I'm going to go over a few things too. So yeah. And how long is this going to last? About 2 hours. We'll be done by about 9 o'clock, probably. So we don't go on into the wee hours of the night, because I need my beauty sleep so I can be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed tomorrow for the whole retreat. And right now, you can't see it, but we have got Computer Central right here. I don't know if I switch this camera. No, you can't see any of the stuff. It's out of the view of the camera. Oops, wrong button. Oops, wrong button. There we go. But I've got monitor up here, computer down here, computer over here, computer over here, monitor up there. And then Walter will have his computer. And you may wonder why I have so many. Well, they each do something different for me. And I'm not going... Oh, and there's also an iPad over here that will be on too. So it's just so I have backup systems and things like that. I don't want... You know, when you depend on technology the most, that's when it lets you down. So I'm trying to cover all the bases here. Okay. So do tune in to Stephen and Walter live this week. We have a interesting, I think it's going to be kind of funny, actually. It was Walter's idea. I'm going to call it a bitch session. We're going to talk about all of our pet peeves. We're going to start with quilt shops, for one, move our way through grocery stores and some other things, too. Things that really get our goat, and that we have to bite our tongue when we're in the situation where one of these pet peeves is taking place at times. But we have quite a long list. Yeah. Well, we are old.
And cranky.
And cranky. So, yeah. We're those two old guys, Waldorf and... Statler and Waldorf from the Muppet Show. You know, the two old guys sat up in the balcony. Well, we'll be sitting in the balcony bitching away on Saturday or Sunday, so you don't want to miss that. Okay, so what's today's topic? Well, you saw the title. I called it Testing Rotary Cutters, Sharpeners, and Replacement Blades. This was a suggestion. Wasn't specific to rotary cutters, but Becky McElliott gave us a suggestion. She's one of our subscribers for a topic, and she said, I've always enjoyed segments when you tried out lots of different quilting notions so we as potential buyers could determine if they were something to invest our time and money in. So I got thinking about this the other day, and I thought we'd focus on, well, I started pulling things out of my drawers and realized, ooh, there's a lot of things here that I don't use anymore, or not what I expected when I bought them. But that could be like a whole weekend extravaganza. So to cut it down, I thought I'd focus on one of the most common items that we all have opinions about, and that's the whole area of rotary cutting. Rotary cutters and blade sharpeners and all that kind of stuff. And so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to start with rotary cutters. Going to show you some pictures of what we use, and it's some live ones too. And we're going to talk about what we like and don't like about these particular ones, and move our way through to other things as well. So I'm going to put up on the screen right now. This is the rotary cutter that I pretty much, well, that's a different one, but I use an Olaf. I was thinking of that. Oh, Let it snow. Let it snow. No, let it go. Let it go.
Actually, I think Olfa is the rotary cutter that when they designed it, that's the one, that's the brand that came out with it.
Oh, was it? Yeah, baby.
Which is Japanese, actually.
Is it Japanese?
Yeah.
Sounds like a Scandinavian name.
Yeah, I know, but it's Japanese.
Yeah, I wonder how they came up with the name. Anyways, on here on Amazon, I'm giving you some idea when I call these pages up of the general price range as well. So they're showing this particular model right here, and they're showing it on Amazon, and this is Amazon.ca, the Canadian one. So Canadian price is $29.90. They're saying it lists at 43. Yeah, I don't know if it does. Well, actually, it can. I have seen them. If you go to a place like Michael's, they used to be quite pricey for it. They have different models, and this is the one that I use. This one, the reason I like this one is because the blade retracts automatically. Never run with a rotary cutter. So you have less chance. Now, if you need to lock it, there's a little button on the side, and that'll lock it in the, maybe. I don't think my button works anymore.
I think it does. You're just there.
Oh, that locks it into the case. So now I can't pop out. That's a safety feature.
Yeah, well, I have one, but it's the smaller one.
Yeah, this is a 60 millimeter. I prefer 60.
I have the 60 as well, but I prefer the smaller one when cutting out shirt patterns and stuff like that.
Mine's bigger than yours.
And I usually only need it to go through 1 or 2 layers of fabric. So
that's why I use the 60 millimeter, because I can go through more layers of fabric.
Right. I mean, and you need the 60. I have the 60 as well, but the only time I use it is I've used it with Trimmer by George, because
yes, because
you have to have a 60.
Yeah, and it tells you that in the instructions for it. The Trimmer by George, I've talked about it before. It's a special ruler that I use for cutting away stabilizer and backing on some of my embroidery pieces as well.
So this is my go-to, and I like Steve says, I like the fact that I can lock it, and I like the fact that I use it, and as soon as I put it back down again and let go of it, it retracts the blade.
Because the other type that have, like the one that they're showing here, this has a slider. Oh, you have one right there. Yeah. Okay.
Really? This is the one Steve gave me when I first started doing sewing regularly, and
I didn't like it.
Yeah, it's a 45 as well, and it's
an Olfa.
Yeah, and you retract the blade like that, but when you're finished with it, unless you actually push the blade back, the cover back on, you can accidentally forget and leave it laying around with the blade exposed.
And you know what that can lead to.
Right?
You reach out to grab it, and you grab it from that top end, or you drop it on the floor and it hits your foot. Those blades are sharp.
Now, I still use this one, but what I use it for is I use it to cut paper.
Yeah, well, that's what
I have. I specifically use this one just to cut paper, because I don't want to dull my blade, my fabric cutting blade, by cutting paper. But there are times where I need to cut paper, so I use this to cut paper.
Yeah, and that's actually what I've got, an old one too that I use if I want to cut through paper. Does paper will dull your blades?
Yeah. So I also have the big one.
Oh,
right. Now, the only thing I don't like about this one is that when you want to change the blade on it, right, the center part comes out, and you have this screw on the back, and then on the screw it has a special washer, and it looks like a cowboy hat, actually.
Yeah, and you got to have it looking like a cowboy hat when you put it back on.
Right. So
or it won't tighten
so you can easily take this apart, and then you go, oh, how do I put it back together again? And I sometimes forget, and I go look at it. Well, that's not good.
No, just it's supposed to do that, but I didn't realize it would do that. Anyway, keep talking.
Yeah, look at it. That's how you change the blade on those.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, look at it online. We'll tell you on YouTube you can find instructions on how to put it back together. That's the only thing I think is kind of weird about it, is that I think they could make it so it's easier to change the blade.
And they have on certain ones, and that brings us to the Quilter Select one. And just show you up here. So Quilter Select, this is a heavy one. You can feel it. It's very weighty in comparison to the other ones. It has a nice feel in your hand, but they're not particularly inexpensive. As you can see, this is American pricing too, $65.99. It is a good cutter. This is a 60 millimeter one. I think they have them in 40 as well. Oh, they're showing that this is actually, that's wrong. That's the cutting mat that they've got the quilt. That's not the price of the cutter. So I think these are about $50 is what I paid American, but they might be a little less than that. Anyways, come back here.
Would you under products say Quilter Select?
I tried that and I couldn't find a picture of it.
Oh,
I thought that's why I thought that was, but it doesn't matter because here it is in real life. Okay. Now the way the blade is protected on this, you're supposed to take it, and I can't really show you, but you just thump it down, and the cover, there, flip it the right way. You push it down, and there's a little plastic cover all the way around this. That shifts, and you can cut. But you have to think about it. Whereas the other one, you just zip, it's out. Here, you gotta, like, off your fabric. I can't do it with my hand because my fingers will all drop off. Kind of a thing. No, we can't. I don't think we have any way of, well, maybe. Okay. Well, you can't see
really
it back. You can't really see it.
Yeah, well, anyway,
it's
you
awkward.
just put it down.
I really don't want to lose a finger.
Just put it down, and slide it over.
Yeah. And don't think I haven't done that before. And anyways, I couldn't get used to that motion. I guess I didn't use it enough. So yeah, and it'll allow you to I think you can flip this so it's left-handed or right-handed as well.
I think it's somewhat like psychological. Like you're used to a rotary cutter where the blade becomes exposed, right, when you're cutting, and when you've got one covered like that, you forget about that. You kind of in your head think it has to be exposed.
Now, for changing the blade in it though, this is really easy because there's a little button right here, and all you do is you push that button and everything falls off. So let's see here. Oh no, I'm sorry. That button's for something else. I'm not sure what that button does.
No, it's
this thing on the back.
But actually, if you look at the OLFA, that's how you change the
too.
Blade as well. You have to
that particular one.
You have to pull the blade out. So on this OLFA, it's easier to change.
See, you pull the blade out, and there's no nut.
There's no nut.
Yeah, no nut to.
Well, there isn't on this one either. Well, there is a nut, but there's no spring that you have to do.
Anyways, what we're saying is, one of the advantages to this particular style is really easy for changing the blade. You don't have to worry about what we're talking about on the other ones. What I don't like about it is the way it protects, because I can't get used to doing this tap first and then going. Because if you don't bring it down with enough force, it doesn't take a lot of force, you just go zip, and it didn't cut anything because the blade wasn't out. So, and they're more expensive, but it's a nice weight. It's like it's substantial. You can feel it in your hand. It's got a good grip on it as well. Quilter Select products are usually very good. All right. But ones that I'm not impressed with. I know some people will love this. These. And these are by Martelli. Oh, I did have a picture of that one. Oh, do I not have Martelli up here? I thought I did. Okay. Well, I guess I don't have them.
They're over Amazon Martelli.
Oh, it's this one here. Okay. There we go. Okay. So, you probably are familiar with these. Now, these ones are very weird looking in the way that they are designed. They're supposed to be ergonomically correct. supposed to be more comfortable to use. I find them extremely awkward. I haven't used them very much. They also have this cover that and as you start to roll on these, the cover comes off, sort of like the Quilter Select, and away you go. This is the 60. This is the 60. These are the 45s.
Yeah, I bought one when Steve first got his. He says, "Oh, I kind of like this." He said,
I thought I did.
And then I went and ordered one and got it, and I used it. I tried using it several times, and I do not like it.
Now, the positioning in your hand, though, your finger's meant to go here on the top of this, and that gives you the leverage. Now, I have heard people say, I cut my fabric standing up.
I do too.
But I have heard people say that these work really well if you have to sit when you cut your fabric. And maybe that is true. I don't really try it, so I'm not sure. But overall, I don't like it at all. Maybe if I used it more, I would. But I just found it very awkward. I didn't like the feel.
Yeah.
And,
same with me. I can't get used to it.
So,
and I always stand when I'm cutting fabric. I never sit. I feel sitting is awkward.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean, some people that can't stand. So
I think that's why they've designed it with this part where you put your finger on it, because when I stand, I'm using my cut. I don't have my finger on anything. I'm just hanging onto the handle and away I go. But when you stand and use this, it's a little bit more awkward. You don't get the pressure the same. But if you're sitting where it's more on level, I think that's what it's designed for.
If you get this one, right, where it retracts, when I cut on this one, I put my finger here.
Yeah.
I always do, because but no, I don't. Actually, I don't.
But I don't.
On these, I don't.
But they have a spot for that. They have a ridge.
They have a spot for it, but I don't do it on here.
No.
I always because the handle is substantial enough that you don't need to do that, right? But on these ones, I find I have to put my pressure on. On these ones, I have to put my pressure on, and I have to put my finger down.
Now, you see, you can't put your finger on this one. Well, you come back here, but then your hand is far back. But they've designed this with these little indents to give you...
But, yeah, I have to cut. And, see, I use this a lot for paper. So, and I do, or light cardboard. And I do have, when I have to put pressure down, I put my finger on it, and I think to myself, ooh, is that getting close to the blade? But, no, it's not, So
overall, I like the Olfa the best. I like that one. I've had that one for quite a long time. I mean, they really don't wear out. Just the blades wear out.
These are both different kinds of Olfas.
Yeah.
Right? And they're made in Japan.
Yeah. And there's other Olfas too that they have. They have a variety of things.
Yeah.
With it. And I think with this model, I think if you can, you can move the blade to the other side if you're left-handed.
Yeah.
So it'll work with, right and left-handed people. Not all rotary cutters do.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I suppose you could use this left-handed as well. I don't know. But
it doesn't switch over.
This one,
stay in the camera.
Sorry, I think you'd have to use it this way. Right,
yeah, because you can't switch the blade over to the other side. That one you could.
Yeah, but this one you need to change the blade on the other side. Yeah, the other one you just turn it around, where you can't turn this one around.
No, that's right.
Right?
Yeah.
So you need to put the blade on the other side.
Yeah. So anyways, we like the Olfa. But again, you got to test them out. I'm sure though most of you that are watching this, you have your preference. You have what you like.
It becomes a personal thing, like whatever you get used to.
Yeah. But the one thing is, and we all are guilty of doing this, we will run a blade in until we're sawing fabric. We shouldn't do that. And, happiness is a new blade in a rotary cutter. I mean, after you've been sawing through and you finally say, okay, time to change my blade. And the reason we don't change the blade is because depending on which one you've got, as we've already said, it can be a bit of a pain in the butt. Some of the ones that have more of the quick change blade isn't so bad. But another reason we don't change the blade as often as we should too is because of the price of replacement blades. And so what a lot of people want to do to save money is resharpen their rotary cutter blades. Well, there's different things on the market for this, and I have tried several of them. One that I paid a lot of money for, is still available, I don't know why, is this one by Grace, called the True Sharp 2 Power Sharpener. You can see the price. That's American. $125.90. No, that's Canadian. This is the Canadian Grace. They have outlets in Canada. $125 for this sucker. And I have one. In fact, I have two.
It's probably close to $100 American.
Yeah. And the way this is supposed to work, okay, you have this little top part. There's a little opener here, and you take that, and it's a little round disc inside here. There is a little sharpening stone, hard to tell, which you can get replacement ones. I think it comes with an extra one. It just clips in there, drops in down there. Looks like a little CD player. You drop your blade onto the center, and you can do any size blade, 60, 40, 45, even a 28 will fit in here. And it sits in this little holder, and you close it up, and it locks, and it locks when you put that. And it comes with a power supply. You have to plug it in. And then you push this little button, and it whirls the little thingy around so that the blade is being sharpened by that little sharpening stone that's in there. And when you've done it for about, I think they want you to do it, says flip blade every 30 seconds until sharp. So you do it for 30 seconds, open it up, flip the blade over to the other side, close it up, do it again for 30 seconds, test it out. If it's not sharp enough for you, you do it again, and 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 it's still bloody thing is dull. It doesn't work. Now, the first one that I bought, when I got it, the box was beaten up on it. The machine itself looked like it was okay, but the box was in pretty sad shape. So I did what the instructions said, and I tried, and I tried, and I tried, and it didn't make any difference, really, not a significant difference, in the sharpness of my blade. So I'm thinking, is this damaged? Because the box was damaged. So I took a picture of the box that it came in. I wrote to Grace Company and said to them, this is not sharpening. I have followed your instructions to the T, whatnot. I'm just wondering if maybe there's something that's got damaged in the shipping. They did send me a brand new one. That's why I have two. So I was excited when I got the second one. Got it all set up. Didn't do anything. It did not sharpen the bloody blade. So now I have two of them. They sit in the back of a drawer. They not see the daylight. They don't work. And I have yet to hear of anybody saying that they absolutely love this gizmo. I mean, it's $100, $125. This is not a cheap tool. The other thing about sharpening rotary blades is, if you've got a nick in your blade, no sharpening system, I'm going to show you two other ones in a moment, they will not take that nick out. That blade is toast.
It's damaged. And how do you get a nick?
Mm-hmm.
Run over a pin.
And
how do I know?
And didn't you run over a pin with expensive replacement ones?
Yeah, I had one titanium blade. And I thought, okay, I needed to put a new blade in. I've got this titanium blade, which was expensive. It was an expensive blade. And the idea is that the titanium blade would last longer, right? Well, the day I put in the titanium blade, within 10 minutes, I ran over a pin.
You're an idiot.
I know. I mean, now I'm really careful about not running over a pin, but I wasn't in those days, and I ran over the pin with a titanium blade, and instantly it was toast.
And the reason they're toast and with that nick in it, even though it'll be the tiniest little nick, we're not talking about a big pie-shaped piece coming out of it, is that as you're going through and cutting your fabric, every time the blade comes around to that nick part, it skips the fabric. So when you go through it and you lift it up, figuring you've got a nicely cut piece, you have it attached to the main fabric still by a few threads.
1 or 2 threads.
Yeah. So that's no good with it. But that sharpener that I just showed you won't make a difference. So then I was on the hunt for a sharpener. And I got this. So let me show you a picture up here first of all. This is called the True Cut, True Sharp Linear Sharpening Notion. You can see it's a little less expensive, but it's still half the price of the other one. So on Amazon, $56.66. This is Canadian. Mine is the same one, except it's an earlier model. They've changed the design of it.
And it says it's the Grace Company, too.
Yes, it's also done by the Grace Company, too, which made me at the time. This one is actually from a company in Canada that's not Grace, but it's made by Grace. It's their product, just another company's name. I saw this at my local quilt store, and I picked it up. It cost me, at that time, I think it cost me about $40 Canadian. And the principle behind this is you put it down on your surface, and it's got these non-slip little feet on it, so it grips pretty well. There's a little groove right in here. And what you do is it's laying flat on, and you stick your blade in there, and you go up and up, and I'm not doing this for because I don't want to cut my hand, but that's the idea. There is a sharpening stone inside here. I don't know if I can show it to you. See a little gray spot?
Yeah, it's a little groove.
Yeah, little groove. And then I think in the instructions they tell you to do it 10 times on one side, then to flip this around and do it.
Are you showing that one up here on screen down there?
No.
Oh, okay.
This is what we're seeing right here. What you see is what you get. Because you would see that on there. Anyways, and you do it 10 times this way. Then you test it out. And if it's still not sharp enough for your preference, you do it again and again and again and again. It actually does sort of work. But again, it's not going to take out any kind of nicks in it. And it's, again, in my opinion, this wasn't worth the $40. It sits on a shelf. And as I said, this one that I showed you up here is the same one. They just changed the design of it a little bit.
Now you can also see that on the Amazon thing, they don't give it a 3.7 rating. So it gives you a good idea that people don't really like it.
It's really not that great. So I continued to hunt. And I found this little thing on Amazon. It's called the Colonial Needle 5790 45 millimeter rotary blade sharpener. It'll also, they have one in a 60 as well. That's just a picture of the 45. And basically it's a wheel. And on one side of the wheel, it has a piece of sandpaper on the inside. And on the other side, it has a finer grain of sandpaper. So what you do, and here it is right here, it's 2 parts. So there's the coarse sandpaper, fine sandpaper. This little thing opens up. You drop your blade in here. Then screw this back on. Finger tight. And then drop it in here. Now what happens is your blade is hanging out. The blade is bigger than this holder. So the blade is out, and when you put this holder in here, your blade is resting against the sandpaper. And so you take it and you just twist. Let me see here.
You just roll it on your desk or something?
No, you hang on to it. Okay, so here's my blade. All right. Open up this piece. Drop your blade in. It's fit right in there. Be careful because you now have an exposed blade. Tighten that up.
Put that in the middle?
And then you drop this in here. Now you see the blade is now resting on the sandpaper. And what you do is you go, I think they say about 20 turns on the one side. Then you flip this over so you got the finer sandpaper and do it again. And then you can take it out of here, flip the blade to the other side, and do the same thing
just
again.
Flip the whole thing over?
What do you mean flip the whole thing over?
Okay, take that out.
Oh, you mean just like this? Yeah, I guess. I haven't used it in a long time. Yeah, you could do that too. Yeah. This actually works.
It has a better rating than the other one.
Yep.
Not much better.
It's cheaper. It's the cheapest one of the three. And it actually does work. Again, it's not going to take out nicks. And over time, your sandpaper will wear down. Now, then you have to buy, I don't think you can buy new pieces of sandpaper for it. I suppose if you want to get really cheap.
I think you should be able to, because if you can't.
I don't even think you can get them out.
I don't know. Okay.
I don't think they come out.
Okay, well, that's not very good.
No, so you're kind of screwed. But this would probably last you quite a long time with it. But that's essentially how that works. And I did have good luck with it. But here's the kicker. Put this away so I don't cut off my fingers.
Then you can have finger food.
Yeah. Okay, why am I not getting it in the hole?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Oops, no. There we go. Okay. What I'm going to tell you is this. I don't use sharpeners at all. I buy blades. You want to know something? For what you can get blades, we're going to talk about in a second. You can get blades at a fairly reasonable price. If you buy the original Olfa blades, they are going to cost you big bucks. And this is what is the determining factor for many people. So if we go here, the ones at the top are the ones that I buy, or I have bought. I have a new supply of them now. These are the Headley ones. Fairly reasonable. Mind you, this is a 45 millimeter pack, and they're a little bit more expensive usually.
Well,
Than
more
the 60, or
60.
sorry, then these are cheaper than the 60 millimeters, what I want to say. But they're okay blades. And at that price, you know, like, what do they got here? Those are 45. They have various prices. Sure, they might not last as long as maybe, and there's the cutter again, as the Olfa blades. At least Olfa would like you to think that. I'm not really sure.
Like, I don't know if it's, I was looking yesterday at blades, and they had, okay, keep going up. They had an Olfa 10-pack
There.
45 for $41.99, which I didn't think was too bad of a price.
Well, but in comparison to 20,
no, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
The other ones are cheaper.
And the 60 millimeter ones, they always have lots of 45s. I have found, but finding 60 millimeters is a little bit more difficult, at least on Amazon. And you do have to make sure that you get, like this is another 60 millimeter, and that's a pack of 12 for $24.99, which isn't bad for a pack of 12. But it says it fits. They're not Olfa.
No.
They're a knockoff.
Yeah.
But what I have found is a Canadian company called Ormcraft. And I really like their blades. A package of 10 is $29.99 Canadian, which is an okay price. But I find that they last me quite a long time. And I have actually stockpiled those. We were at the Canadian Quilt Show, and they had a booth set up there, and they had a special running, and I bought 2 packages there. And I already have about 4 or 5 packages here. So I've got enough blades to last me forever. But I guess the bottom line is, buy a blade. Don't try sharpening it. You're not going to have a lot of luck with that, I don't think. And even if you are able to make it a little sharper than when you first put it into the sharpener, you're going to be spending a lot of your time on any one of those devices trying to get it to sharpen. So when that's eaten into your quilting time.
Yeah, I mean, you don't go around trying to recondition your sewing machine needles.
No. This is
so it's just one of those expendable things that you need. And really, if you can buy 10 for $30 or 20 or $30, that's not much more than a needle. When you look at
okay, so if you get a 10-pack here for $30, that's $3 a blade.
Yeah.
Well, a package of needles is what, $8 and something, $9 for
how many are in
4 or 5?
No, I think there's about 6 in them.
6, okay. Well, so yeah, it's comparable to that.
Yeah.
And it's
and Rotary, I don't know about you, but you can cut quite a bit of fabric with one Rotary.
Oh yeah. Yeah. In fact, some of us cut a lot more fabric than we probably should be, because you're pushing it down harder. And that's another thing too to take into consideration. I am as bad at this as everybody else. I can get more cuts out of it because I'm just being lazy. I don't want to replace the blade. It takes me only a couple of minutes to replace a blade. It's not that big a deal. But the duller your blade, not only is it hard to cut through your fabric, you're putting more pressure on it, and you're gouging into your self-healing mat. And your self-healing mat, that's wear and tear. It will wreck the mat over time.
I would think that your cuts for fabric become inaccurate then too.
Yes, because you're pressing down too hard.
Now, like the group that I sew with or whatever, for ages they kept saying, well, you got to change your sewing machine needles regularly and all this other stuff for your different projects and everything like that, and on and on and on. And then they started complaining about the fact that their rotary cutters weren't cutting properly. And I said, well, when's the last time you changed your blade?
Oh.
And they went, oh, I can change my blade.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then when they changed their blade, it's like, oh wow, I should have done this a long time ago.
So I think it's worth, and sometimes they go on sale, depending on where you're buying them from. Like Ormcraft has sales, all the time, and they're good.
And it's not just Ormcraft. There's other ones that you can get that are like you showed earlier that are comparable. You can use them. I have a set that I bought from Amazon, and I haven't gone through my whole set yet.
Well, so. I used to buy ones from Amazon called Bear.
Yeah.
BEAR. I haven't seen them on Amazon, at least the Canadian Amazon, in a long time. With that, and they were fine. I used those a lot. I even bought some blades once that were Japanese blades.
Japanese, since Olfa is a Japanese.
Yeah, I know, and I suspect that that's what they were. They were Olfa, but they were not a bad price, and I didn't have any problem with them. But the secret is to remember, you are not going to get a lifetime on a blade. You are going to have to change it at some point. And when you put that new blade in and then you cut your fabric with it the first time, you go, oh my God, why didn't I change this earlier? But then funny, we still let it go.
Yeah, like Olfa is a Japanese company, and if you look at their blades, the original blades that they come with, they're also made in Japan.
Yeah.
And that's probably why they're expensive.
Yeah.
Because Japanese products these days are expensive.
Yeah. But it's worth the investment in that, because you're going to get accurate cutting. You're not going to have as much wear and tear on your cutting mat as well. You're not going to have, it can affect your wrist. You're pushing down all the time, your shoulder, the whole bit. So, yeah. So I guess the bottom line of all of this is you use that which works best for you. I mean, you probably have a rotary cutter that you've been using for a long time and you love it. And if you're just new into quilting, then you're going to want to try out different ones. I would recommend that for your first rotary cutter, you go with a brand name. There are ones out there that are a lot cheaper and you get what you pay for. This is a very important tool, and safety. Rotary cutter is one of the most dangerous tools in your sewing room because you can nick yourself. And I mean, when you nick yourself, It's a deep cut. Ask me how I know.
Yeah, these are very sharp instruments, and sharper. They're basically a razor blade.
Yeah,
a round razor blade, and people know that razor blades are sharp. These are round razor blades.
Yeah. So you want one, and like I said, the one I like, it closes up as soon as I let go of the handle with it. So less chance of you're reaching over. You've got your hand on your fabric. You're reaching for. You're not paying attention, and if your blade is open and you grab it from the top, and even if you don't put any pressure on it, it will cut. It will cut.
like these ones.
Well, let's demonstrate on your fingers.
And you leave it open, and I would imagine it's easy enough to accidentally grab one of these.
Yep. And that's the one thing, if you go to a class when you're a brand new quilter, the one thing a teacher will say to you, close your blade. And I've been to classes where the instructor comes around and goes, your blade is open. Just close that blade. And you have to get into the habit of doing that. But it's a good habit to get into. And if it already does it automatically, well, you don't really have to think about it either. So it's really up to you what your budget is, but don't skimp on buying the cheapest of rotary blade. You can buy rotary blades in the dollar store. Wouldn't recommend them. No. They might be okay for cutting paper, and that's the other thing. Don't use your rotary blade when you're using on fabric to cut paper, because it will dull the blade really quick.
That's why I have a separate one to cut paper, and I'll sometimes just put used rotary blades for fabric in it or something. Or I'll put a new one in just for paper.
Yeah. Now, the last part of this is, what do you do with the used blades? That is a really good question. I have a little container that has a screw-on lid. I drop my used blades in it. And I have quite a few of them. And I have thrown them out in the garbage. I don't know if there's any places where you can recycle them.
When you put them in the garbage, do you cover them with tape or something?
I take layers and layers of copy paper, and I put them in that, and I fold the paper over, and I seal it all up with, packing tape in the whole bit, because I don't want somebody grabbing the garbage bag or putting their hand in there for whatever reason, the garbage people and cutting themselves open. Now, I don't know if you can put them in, there's these buckets that you can get. Supposedly, they're either cost very little or you can get them for free at your pharmacy that are for sharps. They're for needles.
Yeah, I don't know if you're supposed to put rotary blades in there.
I don't know if they allow you to put rotary blades in that or not. So if somebody knows about where's the best method for disposing of used rotary blades, please put it in the comments below. The other thing you can do is, but you're not going to go through many of them, is they have the little snipper tools, that for cutting the threads if you're chain stitching, and you can put your spent rotary blade in that. I've got one, I never use it, but you can use that, and you chop through. I have a thing on the side of my sewing machine that I use. I like it better than those, but those are there. Those are available too. But the thing is, you only take one blade for that, and that one blade, even though it's dull, for doing that kind of thing will probably last forever. So it doesn't really solve the problem of what do you do with all the ones you've accumulated. So like I said, if you've got a suggestion, if you've got, of what to do with them that's effective, put it in the show notes below, because I'm sure there's other people would like to know too about that kind of thing. Okay, anything else you want to say about rotary cutters, rotary blades, sharpeners?
No, you can get various different sizes of rotary cutters, right? Like there's the 45 and the 60. And then I have a little tiny one that I got, but I've never used it.
Is that the 14?
I'm not sure what size.
Is that the Shark? No, it
It's
doesn't
a
look like a shark.
Fiskars. It's a little
Yeah.
tiny one.
I've got the shark, which was the original one that was a
And I thought it was a
28.
good idea at the time, but I've never used it. I think it might be good if you have to go around like applique.
It's good for applique because that's what the one that was designed by Rob Appel called the Shark, and I think it's either 28 or 14. I'm not sure. I think they're 28. They're that size anyway.
Yeah.
And that's what he designed it for. It was for cutting out applique because you get around the curves and everything. And I have used it for that. I don't cut out a lot of applique. But yeah, it does work very, very well for it because it's still smaller blades. So, you know, when you're going around curves and things, it's very easy to manipulate it. Although I have cut applique out using a 60 too. I'm pretty good at that, actually.
Well, actually, I like using the 45 for my shirt patterns and stuff like that because it's a little easier to get around the curves.
Yeah. So yeah, they come in all sizes.
And amazingly, going to a class sometimes where we're to a garment class, and the number of people that are still using scissors to cut their garments.
Come into the 21st century, people. Okay, so that's it today. That was our talk on rotaries. Maybe another time I'll look through my drawers and see what's there, and we can talk about some.
Let's see what's in your drawers.
See what's in my drawers. Show you what's in my drawers. Yeah, that might not go over well. Anyways, yeah. So tune in on Sunday. It should be hilarious with our pet peeves. Our little bitch session with our special guests. What's his name? Statler and
Waldorf.
That's the one. It's like a salad. Okay. See you then, maybe. And all of you that have signed up for the retreat, we're going to have a good time. Yeah. So see you that as well. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.